Welcome to BKSS Academy. I hope you are doing great, my dear students. We will discuss about DNS in computer networking. It is called as domain name system. Is a naming database that locates and translates internet domain name into their unique IP address. So diagram is like this: domain name and is domain name system, and this is IP address. This is the translation concept. DNS directory is distributed worldwide. Its application is if 100 people search bkss.com at the same time, each receives a separate IP address from a separate server. If domain name only had one server and IP address, all 100 individuals would be waiting in line because the same IP address is containing by the that bkss.com. The diagram and principle, working principle: suppose this is the client and it will ask to the DNS server, then DNS server will search at root server. These are the components. This is the client, this is DNS server, this is root server, this is .com TLD server, and this is the authoritative name server where we will get the result. So types are like this: DNS server, DNS resolver, root name server, top level domain server, TLD, this is top level domain server, and authoritative name server. Some steps are here, like if you type scholar.com in the web browser, the query transmitted over the internet and received by the DNS resolver. DNS resolver then queries DNS root name server. Root server responds to DNS server with the address of TLD DNS server. If it will having the DNS root server is having the result, then it will also return the result. Otherwise, it will send to the top level domain DNS server. Then DNS resolver requests the .com TLD after receiving the address from the root server. Then IP address of scholar.com is then returned to the TLD server. Then DNS resolver returns the IP address of the web browser, and HTTP request is sent to the IP address by the browser. Then server returns the web page to the client machine. Example is like this: user is requesting the DNS resolver, then root root server, then TLD server, then authoritative server. Then it will return to the TLD, then it will return to the root server, then it will return to the DNS resolver, then the client will get the result. If suppose that address is at the root server, so no need to go to the TLD or authoritative name server. From here the result will be returned to the user. And another example, another diagram is there, that is user, then it is going with the address scholar.com, then it is the DNS, then it is going to the root server. If it is not getting, then coming to the DNS server, then going to the TLD. If it is not getting, then returning the address of this authoritative name server, or if it is having, it will get the address, then it will go to the resolve DNS resolver, then IP address will come to the browser, then browser through the HTTP it will return to the client. DNS structure: TLD's example is .com, .net, etc. Each label in the left side of TLD is designed as subdomain. Example: www.scholar.com. Scholar is the subdomain of .com. DNS resolver: web browser sends DNS query to it. Root name server, after not getting, they are getting it sends query to the server. TLD server keeps track of all domains. Authoritative name server, after getting response from TLD name server, IP address of scholar.com is given by it. DNS caching. Another concept is DNS caching. It aims to shorten the time it takes to receive the response to a DNS query. Caching allows DNS to save past answers for obtaining the same information faster. Some common ways, that is OS caching, web browser caching, and DNS resolver caching. TLD servers are divided into two groups, that is generic top level domain .com, .org, .net, .edu, .gov are the example of generic top level domain, and second one is country code TLD, that is .in for India, .uk for United Kingdom, .us for USA, and .ru for Russia, .jp for Japan. Kinds of address, that is local address, network address, symbolic address. Three kinds of address are there, that is local address, that is in a hardware, network address, that is in IP address, symbolic address, that is in domain name address. So first, hardware address, that is MAC address, that is like this, and by the address resolution protocol it will copy the network address. By the IP address, this will be the IP address. By the DNS, it will be domain name like www.chenu.com. This is all about domain name system. Thank you.